Today we're going to watch a video of a sovereign citizen who I'm going to label the Miranda rights sovereign right to travel guy. He's going to get into an argument with a Texas state trooper. It's entertaining. I think he walked away from this thinking he had a victory, but in my commentary at the end, I'm going to tell you why it's not, and I'm going to propose an alternative strategy for dealing with these sovereign citizens after my analysis. Welcome everybody to the Common Sense Academy. I'm your host, Joe Palmetto, Joe the Lawyer. If you like my content, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. It's a great free way to support the show. You can also sign up for my email list. You'll get updates on the show, updates on my law firm. As you all know, I'm a practicing attorney in Pittsburgh, PA. Now, before we jump into this video, everybody, raise your cups, your glass in the air. First the coffee, then the justice. It's time for the save time sip. Have a drink with me, whether you drink beer, wine, coffee, water, whatever it is. I'm drinking the nectar of the gods, coffee. Cheers with me. It tastes better when we sip together. Cheers. Ah, delicious. All right, let's watch this sovereign right to travel Miranda rights guy.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir. And with the Texas Highway Patrol, now your stop today because your speed was confirmed over the speed limit back there. Let's see your license and your insurance, please.
So you're saying I violated some sort of transportation code?
Yes, sir. Speeding.
Okay.
I need to see your driver's license and your insurance, please, and we can talk.
Okay. Well, I'm letting you know that I'm not here in a commercial capacity.
Okay.
I'm not carrying people for a fee, and I'm not carrying any cargo for a fee.
Okay.
I'm actually just traveling.
Right.
So those laws are actually for commercial reasons, not for personal reasons, not for...
Okay, sir, I just need to see your driver's license and proof of insurance for the vehicle, okay?
Okay. I don't... There's not a crime that's been committed, so...
Yes, sir. The speed limit here is 65, and your
right,
speed was confirmed over the speed limit.
Okay.
You're traveling on a public roadway.
Okay. Again, that is... make sure we're recording this. That is for... There you go. That is for a commercial vehicle. I'm not a commercial vehicle. Those speed limits are set for commercial vehicles.
Okay.
Yeah. Am I free to go?
No, you're not free to go.
Okay.
I need to see your driver's license.
Am I under arrest?
Technically, this is an arrest. You're not. Okay. You are not being placed under arrest and going to jail.
Okay. If this is a custodial,
sir,
this is a custodial arrest, right? Okay. What department are you with?
Texas Department of Public Safety.
Okay. What's your name? What's your name?
I'm Trooper Taylor.
Trooper Taylor.
Yes, sir.
Trooper Taylor.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Am I under arrest? Is this a custodial arrest?
Yes.
Okay. Can you go ahead and read me my Miranda rights, please? Miranda warnings. You said I'm under arrest. Okay, that's the law. Is that now I want you to give me my Miranda warnings.
For what reason?
Because you said I'm under arrest.
That's right. Like I said, it's a traffic arrest. It's a traffic stop.
Okay.
Okay.
The law doesn't differentiate whether it's traffic or murder. Okay. If I'm under arrest, then you are required to give me my Miranda rights. Go ahead and give me my Miranda rights.
Okay. All right. If evidence against you in court, you have the right to have a lawyer present before and during any questioning by peace officers or attorneys representing the state. If you are too poor to hire a lawyer, you have the right to have a lawyer appointed by the court to advise you before and during any questioning. You have the right to terminate this interview at any time. Now, I need to see your driver's license and your proof of insurance for the vehicle.
Okay, so you said I have the right to remain silent, correct?
Right. You don't have to say anything. I need to see your driver's license and your insurance.
Anything I say can be used against me in a court of law. Is that correct? If I give you my driver's license and I give you proof of insurance, you can use that against me in a court of law. So why would I want to give that to you? I'm gonna go ahead and
required by law.
No, you just said anything I say can be used against me.
Right.
So if I give you something, it can be used against me. Okay. Why would I give you something that can be used against me? You told me that. No, you told me that was a right. I have the right. So I'm gonna exercise my right to remain silent. I want my attorney since I'm under arrest. Okay. And I'm going to exercise the fact that I can't give you anything because you can use that against me.
I'm not trying to use anything against you.
Well, you could, but you could, is the thing. You want to read those Miranda rights again?
Sir, To operate a vehicle on the roadway, you're required to have your driver's license, okay?
Sir,
and you're required to
if
follow
I'm
the speed limit.
if I'm operating under a commercial reason, okay, not if I am just traveling. I told you I am just traveling in my private conveyance. So
Okay.
that law does not apply to me. So now you don't have probable cause anymore. Am I
Yes,
free to go?
No, you are not free to go.
Okay.
Sir,
I suggest you call your supervisor right here because you obviously don't understand the law. You're just reading my Miranda rights.
okay.
Okay.
Listen, I need your driver's license and proof of insurance. The faster we do that, the faster we can both get out of here.
Sir. Sir.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're very clear on this. You read my Miranda rights. You want to read them again?
No, sir.
Okay. So I am not going to answer any questions. I'm going to remain silent.
That's fine.
I cannot give you anything because if I give you something, then you can use that against me in a court of law.
Okay.
Do you understand that?
Sir.
Do you understand that?
Understand what?
That if I give you something, you can use that against me in a court of law. Why would I give you something?
Because it's required by law.
Okay.
You broke the law. You were traveling at a speed
Okay.
greater
If
than
I'm
the speed
under
limit.
arrest, I'll be glad to ID.
Okay, let me see some identification.
I give you a verbal ID.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay. If you say I'm under arrest, then I'll give you a verbal ID. I don't see how I could be under arrest when I haven't broken the
Okay.
law.
What's your verbal ID?
Okay. First name is Edward.
That's EDWARD?
Correct.
Okay. So do you have a driver's license?
Sir, I'm going to exercise my right not to answer any questions.
Okay.
Just as you read my Miranda rights.
Do you have proof of financial responsibility for the vehicle?
I'm going to exercise my right not to answer any questions.
Okay. All right, let's see what we got. All right, sir.
Am I free to go?
No.
Okay.
All right, so do you have any suspensions, any warrants on your license right now?
Sir, I'm going to exercise my right not to answer any questions.
Okay. All right, sir. Well, here's the deal. Back there at FM 523, your speed it was confirmed at 92 miles per hour. Okay? Speed limit here is 65. So you are going to receive a citation for your speed today, okay? Do you have insurance for the truck?
Sir, again.
Okay, I'll check it on my side. Just hang on one second. You just sign here on the X. And sign in here, it's not a plea of guilt, it's a promise to make contact with the court. You're going to make contact with Judge Davis here in Angleton on before February 6th. Right?
Can I see that?
Yes, sir.
Sir, I disagree with this.
Okay. You're not going to sign it?
I like my attorney now since I'm under arrest.
Okay. So are you going to sign this or no?
I would like my attorney, sir.
Okay. All right, sir. Well, this has all your information on it and what you need to do to be able to contact Judge Davis, okay? There's a phone number and an address on there, okay? All right, sir. Well, just be safe driving, okay? And slow it down a little bit.
So right off the bat, we can identify this guy as a sovereign citizen, right to travel, true believer, okay? The officer pulls him over, says it's for speeding. He says the officer, am I violating the transportation code? Oh, like the transportation code is not real law. He says later on that this law doesn't apply to him. So in that sense, it doesn't matter. He says he wasn't traveling in a commercial capacity, not for a fee, and no cargo. Cargo is a deeply embedded concept in the sovereign citizen world. It goes back to admiralty law and the law of the sea. And if you weren't shipping cargo, you weren't under the jurisdiction of admiralty law. Man, these guys have every way of tying these laws and these fake laws back to each other. It is just hilarious. Now, the officer ignores him, asks for his license and insurance. The gentleman says that no crime was committed. Remember, the sovereign citizens believe if there's no victim, there's no crime, right? So speeding, drug possession, public intoxication can't be crimes because there's no victim. Blatantly, that's not true. It's allowed under the United States Constitution. The Constitution of every state and every country in the world regulates certain activities that are quote-unquote victimless crimes. That's a cute little pet philosophy to have. It's blatantly not true, and it's really not for the better of society. The government should have the ability to regulate certain activities, even if there's no quote-unquote victim. While I do recognize that crimes with victims are obviously generally much more serious. He pulls out all the familiar sovereign citizen tropes. Can you get me your supervisor? Am I being detained? I'm not under arrest yet. This officer, frankly, I think he played along with him a little too much. But again, you can understand a state trooper doesn't want to turn a traffic ticket into an arrest. They don't want to turn a traffic ticket into a whole giant incident. So this trooper, really, really nice dude. He probably handles it perhaps in the best way possible when dealing with somebody like this. Now, for a second there, when the trooper handed him the ticket, I thought this guy was going to sign. He says he couldn't sign. Gives it back to him, won't sign, but the officer does leave him with the ticket. Now, I call this guy the Miranda rights because he insists on the officer reading him his Miranda rights. The officer pulls out his card and reads him the Miranda rights. Don't comply with the demands of the sovereign citizen. Don't comply with the demands. I did not like that. I did not like that. I understand not wanting to turn this into a big issue. But this guy asking for his Miranda rights, you don't have to read. Here's a common misconception. People believe that officers have to read Miranda rights in order to effect arrest. That's blatantly not true. An officer can arrest someone, Miranda rights read or no Miranda rights. Miranda rights come into play only if the Commonwealth or the state or the law enforcement intends to use the statements of the individual against them. And in order to preserve their right to potentially use those statements, that's when you have to read the Miranda rights. You have to let the person know that those statements may in fact be used against them so that they understand. And if they continue to run their mouth, then you can use them against them in court. Has nothing to do with whether or not the person has the right to arrest. The officer has the right to arrest. Has nothing to do with the right to arrest. Miranda rights are not this force field that are created if the officer doesn't read it to them. This is something that's been programmed into people by law and order, by television. Reading Miranda rights can be important in certain cases. It's certainly not necessary on the part of law enforcement when effecting arrest or enforcing the law. So I think this officer ultimately just didn't want to get turn this into an arrest. Perhaps he should have, because of the dangerousness of sovereign citizens and the fact that it's so huge and so prevalent today. I kind of think you have to have a zero tolerance. But here's another theory to think about in dealing with sovereign citizens, is you just get them to rack up so many tickets that you can then issue a warrant for their arrest, right? If they're not paying their tickets, they're not showing up to court, then warrants are going to go out. And then when the officers do encounter them, they kind of have a greater justification to arrest rather than just on a speeding ticket. And the other thing too, the way the officer sees it is, I bet at least 50% of the time, maybe more, these individuals pull this crap and then they end up paying the ticket or they end up complying with the punishment in the law, and it doesn't clog up the legal system. But I do think you got to push back hard on sovereign citizens. There's too much of it these days. So at the very least, you got to get that ticket in. You got to get them into the court system. If they don't pay or don't show up, you put a warrant out. If they show up, you prosecute them. You let them have their trial, and then you make them pay their fines and the consequences. But there's got got to be consequences for the actions of these jokers. All right, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. I'm talking too fast. To Joe Palmetto, Joe the Lawyer. Let me know how the volume is on this one. I had a lot of complaints about the volume. I'm sorry, I do talk loud. I am not really aware of it many times. If you like my content, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Think about signing up for my email list. Check out my other channel, Joe the Lawyer, or check out my book, the book that I wrote on sovereign citizens. There's a link in the description below. All right, everybody, have a fantastic day. Thank you very much.